Hello and welcome. I'm going to show you how to take your clear cutting mat. This is for the Gemini. I have the full size. These are the plates from Crafter's Companion. You can see it's nice and wobbly from this to this. Notice it's so clear you can see through it. So I've obviously been using it, but look at how much flatter this is. I can almost spin it on the table. And if you want to see what I did to do that, stay tuned. So if you're like me and you've had the clear cutting plates for cutting machines, these happen to be the ones for the Gemini, the Crafter's Companion. If any of you have experienced plate bowing, you know that they can get pretty bad. I literally just pulled this out of the oven. Do you see how nice and flat that is laying? Now, here's what I did. I used a flat baking sheet that had no raised part except the logo in the middle. Fahrenheit, that's not UK temperatures. That's 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I thought it would take 20 minutes. It did it in 10. I could tell that it had already softened. We don't want it melted. We just want it softened. So I could tell that it was melted because I had my layer. This is one of those like Teflon baking sheets. I use these in my heat press, if you know what I mean. I don't know if they're the copper ones. They're just called, Teflon non-stick baking sheets that I use for my iron-ons upstairs. I have one of those professional heat presses. So I do use that. I lined this on my cookie sheet, and I could tell that my mat was warm enough because right here at the end, my mat had or my clear cutting plate had gone up a little. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's done in like 10 minutes. So I pulled it out, put it on a flat cutting board, pulled it off of the baking sheet because I didn't want the logo getting raised in there. There's also some Teflon baking sheets underneath on my wooden cutting mat. It just worked. So now I'm basically just letting it cool. And I've got the oven going because I figured I'd already ruined this clear cutting plate and it wasn't working great anyway. So that was my experiment. Again, 200 degrees, that's Fahrenheit. Okay, I just decided to turn off that last video and I touched it and look, all of the paper is literally just coming off. This has just been sitting here maybe cooling for 3 minutes. And I definitely, you definitely want this to cool. You don't want to try to do this when it's hot. But I am just blown away how all this, Angel, leave it alone. Sorry, my daughter just walked in the room. She's trying to figure out what's going on. What's mom doing? But literally all the little bits of paper have come off. Oh my God, so excited. About to put these in the oven. These are my Cuttlebug cutting mats. And I forgot to take pictures of the other ones to show you how bowed they were. These may not be as bad as some, but they're definitely affecting how, you can see how wobbly they are, how my machine cuts. So I've actually put these so the bow is kind of up. Also the little Cuttlebug sticker happens to be up. And you notice how it's kind of up like this? When it's hot enough, you'll see this curve go the other way. Now I use the word hot. We don't want hot, we want just warmed. We don't want to melt these plates. So I'm going to put these in and I'm going to set an Alexa timer for 8 minutes and see what happens. My oven is actually still on. I'm waiting for the 8 minutes for my Cuttlebug plates. This one has actually really finished cooling and I want you to see you can see through it. It's so clear. Now I didn't melt it. But all of the little paper bits popped right off. Now, here is a mat that I haven't done yet. See? And, you know, I don't expect it to get all the little things out, but you can tell how milky this mat is. You can tell that it's really, really bowed. And yeah, I didn't even clean up my kitchen because, you know, I'm home from the COVID virus thing and I'm just trying some of these hacks that I've seen. So I'm going to flatten this one next as soon as my timer goes off. But you can see from the shadow, like on this side, how my clear mat is still bowing up, and yet I have it on that bubble kind of on the end. I'm still waiting for it to get warm. Again, it's warm and not hot, so I'm going to close back up the oven. I've got those Cuttlebug cutting plates in there, and I did open the oven, so I think this one's taking a little bit longer. My 10 minutes has already gone past, but I can tell that they are definitely sitting a lot flatter. So I'm going to give it just like another minute or two. Again, we're not melting these. We're just kind of softening them. And the one plate that I don't have on the bump there, I can definitely tell that it's, you know, flattened quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to pull these out. I think maybe these are a little smaller, so I'm not quite getting that bow like I got with the larger plate, but you can tell these have flattened out quite a bit. So I'm gonna just slide these off. Alrighty, here is how my Cuttlebug ones turned out. Now, these are definitely much better. You can see there's way less wobble, but they didn't flatten perfectly. I noticed that when I put these in, I put them on the top of the oven, and the Gemini plate I wound up putting on the bottom of the oven. So I don't know if these just didn't get as hot. And then I also opened up the oven to show you guys what was going on. And I've got my big Gemini plate on my lower oven and not the top. So I'm going to see if this one flattens out a little bit better. But I'm still very, very happy with how much these flattened. I mean, they have a tiny bit of wobble, but they're definitely better. Okay, I'm about, this is the recording, it's about 9 minutes. I can tell this is nice and flat. So for my personal oven, I think I had it on convection bake, so maybe on the top rack it was getting, you know, too much of the fan, keeping it cooler. Could also be the difference in manufacturing from one company to the next. Of course, we don't know how they make them, but definitely the Gemini plates. I'm going to pull it out of the oven, and because it's larger, when I transfer it to my cutting board for cooling, I want to do that with 2 hands. Okay, here is the mat. I can feel that it's warm, but you can also hear that it's plenty hard. So I'm going to let this cool a little bit longer. This one didn't seem to have as much paper stuck in it. The paper's not just coming off like the other one was. I was probably using this for my bottom plate and not cutting into it. You can see it's clear, and if you remember when I showed it to you, it was milky white. So hopefully this will work for you. Definitely I can't guarantee that, but try it on a plate that you're getting ready to throw away. You may as well. You see how nice and straight that is. I mean, it really turned out good. Hopefully it'll work for you and you will get some good results and you can keep on crafting.